Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your game by subscribing to our channel so you never miss our daily content. For exclusive access to our premium betting picks, join our Patreon. Find the link in the comments section below. Stay ahead with High Stakes. New York Yankees versus Seattle Mariners. Not only have the Mariners been hitting stronger over the course of September, but Gilbert has been tossing very well both at home and in daytime games. Gilbert holds foes under .200 at the plate and has done a solid job limiting home runs. When the Yankees aren't able to go yard, they are often leaving runners stranded and cutting innings short. Look for the Mariners to get back in the win column at home here. My team pick is Seattle Moneyline. Both of these pitchers have thrown well in their respective home-away splits, and they have also tossed well in head-to-head matchups. The Mariners struggle with consistency at the plate and lead the league in strikeouts per game. Meanwhile, New York has seen their home run rate and batting average decline over the course of September. Expect both pitchers to get to hot starts here and keep the bats in check. My total pick is under 7.5 runs. Los Angeles Dodgers versus Miami Marlins. Flaherty held the Marlins scoreless over 6.2 innings in his prior start against the Marlins. Cabrera has generated an ERA north of 7 in 3 appearances versus the Dodgers and let up 4 runs in 2 innings against them in May. Before their current series, the Dodgers had won 4 straight matchups against the Marlins and 6 of their last 8, including a 3-game sweep in Los Angeles earlier this season. The Marlins have not had a true home field advantage in 2024, losing over 60% of their games. They have not won a series at home in their previous 6 tries, and the Diamondbacks swept them in a 3-game set at Lone Depot Park during that stretch. The Dodgers have been solid playing away from Los Angeles in 2024, winning almost 55% of their games. The Dodgers have a significant edge in the pitching department in their matchup, ranking in the top 10 in multiple categories versus a bottom-half ranking for their opponent. The stats and trends strongly support a comfortable Dodgers victory on the road Thursday. My team pick is Dodgers minus 1.5 runs. Prior to the current series, 4 of the previous 5 contests between these squads went over the run total, with the Dodgers scoring 6 runs or more versus the Marlins pitching staff in 2 of 3 in May. All 3 of the games played during their last series at Lone Depot Park went over, with 34 runners crossing the plate throughout the 3-game set. 20 runs were scored during the first game of the current series. The Dodgers have an elite offense in 2024, ranking high in multiple categories, including 6th in batting average with .254 and 2nd in slugging percentage, so they have the tools to score quickly in bunches. Miami's pitching staff has struggled all season, ranking 28th in ERA with 4.70, so the Dodgers will have ample opportunity to add to the score sheet. Cabrera has produced an ERA of 7.71 in 3 appearances versus the Dodgers. Most signs point to a higher scoring affair in Miami on Thursday. My total pick is over. Boston Red Sox versus Tampa Bay Rays. With a win on Tuesday, the Rays evened up the season series at 4 wins apiece. They'll also face off one last time in the last series of the season. Little has been okay against the Sox this season in 2 starts, but has not earned a decision. Though the Tampa Bay starter is 3-5 at home this season, he is sporting a 3.15 ERA in 14 starts at the Tropical Criswell has been very good of late, but he hasn't logged a ton of innings, with a high of 5 1/3 innings since rejoining the rotation 5 starts ago. The sooner the Rays get to Boston's bullpen, the better shape they'll be in. Boston thought they were playing for a postseason shot just a few short weeks back, but have since looked like a team ready for things to just end. This is an opportunity for the Rays to swoop in and take advantage of a downtrodden side. Tampa Bay is 6-4 in the last 10 games between these teams prior to Wednesday. My team pick is Tampa Bay Moneyline. In their first 8 meetings this season, the under went 5-3. This season, there have been 145 games between the 2 teams which have hit the under. Tampa Bay has been one of the weakest offenses in the game this season, ranking 28th with 3.83 runs per game. Boston does rank 9th, averaging 4.72 runs per game, but in their last 16 games they've scored only 3.62 runs per game. In that stretch, the Sox offense scored 3 runs or less 11 times. Prior to Wednesday, the Rays scored 3 runs or less in 10 of their last 16 games. The under is 6-4 in the last 10 meetings between the division rivals. My total pick is under. Philadelphia Phillies versus New York Mets. I am taking the New York Mets to win this game at home over their rival Phillies at -145 odds. The Mets come into play as the hottest team in the league, having won an astounding 15 of their last 19 games and sweeping their most recent series. The Phillies have had a great season, but have not been a good road team this year, with one of the most dramatic home-road splits in baseball. While the Mets have put up 20 runs over their last 2 games, the Phillies have only scored 34 runs over their last 10 games. Taijuan Walker has been really bad this season with a 6.29 ERA on the season and even worse road splits. Meanwhile, Luis Severino has had quite the bounce-back season for himself and pitches particularly well at home. My team pick is Mets moneyline. I have got the over of 8.5 runs in Thursday night's game between the Phillies and the Mets in New York. The Mets as a team have been red hot of late, looking nearly unbeatable. Both teams have been 2 of the best offensive teams in the league this season, with the Mets scoring 10 runs in 2 straight games coming into this one. With Taijuan Walker on the mound for the Phillies with his 7.03 road ERA and 7.29 ERA in 9 games, the Mets are poised to do the heavy lifting and at least get close to the over themselves. The Phillies lineup is full of stars who should be able to push enough runs across the board against a good, but not necessarily great, pitcher in Severino for the over to cash. My total pick is over 8.5 runs. Pittsburgh Pirates versus St. Louis Cardinals. Luis Ortiz will toe the rubber for the Pirates in the finale of this series. He took the loss last Friday against the Royals, allowing 7 runs, 4 earned, on 5 hits and 2 walks over 4 innings along with 5 punch-outs. The unearned runs were a result of his error, so you can tack on those extra 3 runs to him. I expect him to struggle in this game against the Cardinals. Although they are all but out of the playoffs, the Cardinals still have a slim chance. Ortiz has not looked sharp over his last few starts, and the Pirates have nothing to play for at this juncture of the season. My team pick is St. Louis Cardinals -1.5 runs. Eric Fed was acquired from the Chicago White Sox near the trade deadline, hoping to bolster a weak starting rotation. He allowed 3 runs on 6 hits and a walk over 5 innings in a no decision last Friday. He has now failed to complete 6 innings in 6 of his 8 starts since being acquired by the Cards. During that period, he's provided a 4.43 ERA, pushing his season mark up to 3.45. Fed is 0-5 over his last 6 starts and has not won since August 7th. Both pitchers will get lit up in this game, and I expect it to have the highest total of the day. My total pick is over. Arizona Diamondbacks versus Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee ML is the way to bet on Thursday's game. Fat has a 10.23 ERA, 2.26 whip, and .329 opponent BA with a .439 BOBIP and 4.09 BB/9 ratio in the last 30 days. The Brewers roughed around him in his latest start, and he has allowed 4 or more runs in 5 of his last 6 starts. The young righty surrendered 31 runs in those 6 appearances, 29.0 IP. Arizona has an intimidating lineup, but Myers heads into this matchup with plenty of momentum. He beat the D-backs in his last outing and has fanned 21 batters in his last 3 starts, 17.2 IP. He can limit the Diamondbacks to 3 or 4 runs, outpitching Fat before turning the ball over to a dominant Brewers bullpen, 2nd in ERA and 3rd in whip this season. My team pick is Brewers moneyline. Also take over 8.5 runs. Washington Nationals versus Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs are holding 2nd place in the National League Central Division with a record of 77-75. This season, they average 4.60 runs and 8.20 hits per game, boasting a team batting average of .243 and an on-base percentage of .318. With a positive run differential of +65, the Cubs have shown some offensive strength. Defensively, they have managed to keep opponents to a batting average of .238 and an on-base percentage of .305, highlighting their competitive edge this season. The Chicago Cubs have a mediocre record against the run line this season, standing at 69-73. While they've shown some resilience following a loss, boasting a 41-33 record against the run line, their performance at home has been disappointing, with a record of 27-47. Recently, the Cubs have struggled to cover the run line, failing to do so in their last 2 games and achieving coverage in only 5 of their last 12 games. My team pick is Washington Nationals plus 1.5 runs. The Chicago Cubs have seen 72 of their 152 games this season end over the posted total, but at home, only 33 of 74 games have surpassed it. In games following a loss, they've had 40 of 74 games end under the total. Recently, the Cubs' last game and 7 of their last 9 have gone over the total. On the other hand, the Nationals have had 73 of their 152 games finish under the posted total, with 36 of 75 road games and 40 of 83 games after a loss ending under. Although the Nationals' last 2 games went over, they have only seen 8 of their last 24 games exceed the total. Considering these trends, smart bettors are likely to predict this game to finish under the posted total. Go under the posted total in this National League battle. My total pick is under 8.5 runs. Los Angeles Angels versus Houston Astros. The Houston Astros have a record of 4-1 against the run line in their last 5 games against the Angels. The Los Angeles Angels are 1-4 against the run line as underdogs in their last 5 games on the road. The Angels are likely to not be well rested going into Thursday's game against the Astros, and because of this may not bring much of an effort. We already saw Los Angeles dig deep into their bullpen after a 13-inning game yesterday, and they are bound to make mistakes against an Astros team they recently lost to. I am taking Houston at minus 1.5 runs. Jose Suarez is not a starting pitcher and is normally designated as a relief pitcher, but I believe that the Angels know they are going to struggle going into this game, and would rather rest their starting pitchers for the remaining games in this series. Suarez has not performed well this season, especially as of late, with an ERA of 7.36 in his last 5 games. The Astros may be able to take the game over the total themselves with Suarez at the plate, but I think the Angels will be able to muster up a couple of runs against pitcher Yusei Kikuchi, who has played well in his recent starts, but does have an ERA of 3.45 in his last 5 games. I am looking for Houston to return to form after their low-scoring series against the Padres. I am siding with the over at 8.